the things we saw that day in the village became a secret we would have to keep from everyone for the rest of our lives. Because, you see... I don't understand, Professor. Why are we going to help solve an inheritance dispute?
Luke, my boy, do you really think I would take on such an ordinary request as that? Oh no, this is an altogether unique and exciting situation, and it has piqued my intellectual curiosity. But I suppose it would be best to explain the case before we arrive at our destination. 2 months ago, Baron Augustus Reinhold passed away. Shortly after his death, his will was disclosed. The contents of it were fascinating, to say the least. The Reinhold family treasure, the golden apple, is hidden somewhere within this village. To whomever successfully locates this treasure, I offer the whole of my estate. Naturally, those who attended the reading of the will immediately set out in search of the golden apple. But in the end, everybody came back empty-handed. It turns out that no one had even heard of such a treasure existing, until its mention in the will.
Wow, that's some puzzle, all right.
Quite. Augustus Reinhold staked his entire fortune just to create one more puzzle before his death. What a perplexing individual. I wish I could have met him while he was still alive.
It certainly sounds like you two would have gotten along, Professor. By the way, just what is this golden apple anyhow?
Some speculate it's a rare antique, while others say it could be a gem, yet its identity remains elusive. But Luke, I can't shake the feeling that this matter is linked to some larger mystery, something huge.
Aha! Is that your famous intuition acting up again, Professor?
Well, our first step is getting to town.
This is all so exciting! I hope St. Mystere is ready for the famous archaeologist and puzzle-solving detective, Professor Layton.
Oh, Luke, you know as well as I do that I am no detective. Augustus Reinhold's wife, Lady Dahlia, has asked me to investigate the situation. It seems she came across my name by chance when reading an article about me in the papers.
And you immediately decided to take her up on her request, huh?
Oh, well, Luke, a true gentleman never refuses the request of a beautiful lady.
If you say so, Professor.
We should be nearing the town by now. Look at the map in the envelope and help me with directions.
You got it! What in the... What's this?
Lady Dahlia seems to have given us a test. We'll need to decipher this map in order to find the village. She wants to see if we're capable of cracking the mystery surrounding the Reinhold fortune. Care to give it a go, Luke?
I will do my best. A puzzle like this should be a snap for the apprentice of the great Professor Layton.
Very well then, Luke. I'll leave this one to you. Think of it as a warm-up for things to come.
Okay. First puzzle time. My village is on a road that leads to no other towns. I look forward to seeing you there. So as the first puzzle in the game, it's pretty simple. We just circle the correct village.
Well, here's my guess. Layton's apprentice saves the day.
That's correct. The only town that isn't connected by roads to another town is the one in the upper left area of the map. Looks like you're all ready to start solving puzzles.
There we go. Now we should be able to make our way to the village.
Right you are. We should see it on the horizon any moment now.
Huh? Professor, do you mean to say you already figured out the town's location?
I'm afraid I couldn't help myself. A basic puzzle like that is easy enough to solve with a glance. Anyhow, you'd best gather your things, Luke. We've arrived.
So welcome to the Curious Village. The first Professor Layton game has a special place in my heart. I do know most of the puzzles, but I will do my best to explain them as I go, even if I just know the answer for playing it so much. Interesting. It appears that this drawbridge is the entrance to the village. And we're stuck on the outside. What should we do, Professor? Oh, look over there. There's a man standing on the other side of the river. Maybe he can help us. Good day, sir. We'd very much like to gain access to the village. Could you please drop the bridge for us? Do I look like the sort to go dropping the bridge for a bunch of fancy-looking outsiders? You got a lot of nerve. We received a letter of invitation from Lady Dahlia. I don't suppose that changes things, does it? From Lady Dahlia? Well then, I'd sure like to lower the bridge for you, Mr. Fancy Pants. But the engine's busted, and I can only move this blasted bridge with the hand crank. There's all these infernal slots I could put the crank in, but I got no clue which one to use. So, smart guy, you got any idea which one is the right one? There's no way to lower the bridge and get across without inserting the crank into the correct slot. Choose the slot that fits the crank below. So we can change up how we see the crank. Basically for this one, it's a pentagon, so number 3 is not the answer. Number 2 can't be the answer because they're both on straight sides, the 2 rectangles. So it has to be number 1.
Luke, here's my answer. Another puzzle solved.
Nice job. Now drop that bridge. That'll do it. Hold on a second. I'll let her down. I'm gonna say it again. I just don't feel right about letting outsiders into St. Mystere. But if you're Lady Dahlia's guest, I guess I'd better. Please give her my regards, you hear? Yes, we finally arrived in St. Mystere. I'm so excited. I wonder what mysteries await us here. Well, Luke, we'll find out soon enough. Just be careful not to let your excitement cloud your ability to analyze your surroundings. I say, Luke, this is a perfect time to explain how to move about during our investigation. Give that shoe-shaped icon in the lower right portion of the touchscreen a tap with your stylus. After you do this, a set of arrows will appear on screen. Tap one to head in that direction. So remember, when you want to move, just tap the shoe. Go on then, give it a try. Except if we try to do that, we're gonna get stopped by this guy anyway. So I'm just gonna talk to him. Hehehe, what a dandy set of fellows you two are. Must be new to St. Mystere, eh? Name's Scarfin, and I've got some advice for you. Go tap that barrel back there with your stylus. Don't ask questions, just do it. Got our first hint coin. Hehehe, felt good, didn't it? Around these parts, that's what we call a hint coin. When you find yourself against a doozy of a puzzle, you'll want a hint. Trust me on this one, fellas. And it's just those times when you'll want to use a hint coin to purchase a hint. I bet you think puzzles will be a breeze now, eh? Think again. There are a limited number of hint coins in this world, so don't go wasting coins on any old riddles. 'Cause if you do, when you come across a real stumper, you'll be sorry. Real sorry. Mind you, hint coins won't always be stuffed inside barrels. Check any object that seems suspicious. Got all that? Good. Be seeing you round. Thanks, Stash and Scarfin. So let's see, we've also got a few other hint coins. Oh, hello. Pleasure to meet you. Welcome to St. Mystere, where our local export is the puzzle. Oh, before I forget, you should know that every time you solve a puzzle, you earn a set number of picarats. The more picarats a puzzle is worth, the tougher the puzzle will be. They say lovely things happen when you gather enough picarats, which is just the bonus features like artwork and music. Imagine that, a reward for solving puzzles. For practice, try this little riddle that your hat reminded me of. Think good and hard before you answer. These 4 top hats are all the same height, but the length of each brim is different. In other words, the hats are equally tall but vary in width. One of these 4 hats has a brim and height that are the same length. Which hat is it? So this is just an optical illusion. You can easily measure the brim and the cap. To find out,
Every puzzle has an answer.
that's right. This is a very famous optical illusion. An optical illusion is a visual phenomenon where your eyes perceive things differently than they actually are. There are dozens of known optical illusions. What's the world coming to when you can't even trust your own eyes? Oh, bravo! I think you've got the hang of this. If you try your options one by one, you'll eventually find the answer. But, however, you'll also encounter lots of puzzles that can't be solved by simply trying all the answers. If you answer incorrectly, the picarats you earn from a puzzle decrease. Tough stuff, huh? Goes to show you how important it is to think for yourself and find the answer on your own. Well then, best of luck to you two. I'll be rooting for you. Thank you, Ingrid. I don't think we get any dialogue talking to her again. Yeah. Now it is time to test out the shoe. I've been thinking, Professor, shouldn't we be keeping a record of our investigation? You've brought up a very good point, Luke. Let me explain how to go about saving your game. First, tap your stylus on the trunk in the upper right corner of the touchscreen. This trunk contains all manner of information that you can access by tapping the icons. Touch the icon marked Save to save your game. Tap the journal icon to read over notes about our adventure in St. Mystere. Next, we have the puzzle index icon. Tap it to view all the puzzles you've encountered. Puzzles you've solved have a check next to them. Puzzles you've seen but haven't solved are blank. You can retry any puzzles you've solved from this screen. To retry puzzles that you haven't solved yet, you must return to the actual site of the puzzle. Don't be afraid to use the items in the trunk to help our investigation. It'll be second nature soon enough. Enough explanation for now. Let's make our way to Reinhold Manor. An arrow marks our path on the map, so all we need to do is head in the correct direction. Lead the way, Professor! So, Chapter 1. Reinhold Manor awaits. Make your way to Reinhold Manor on the east side of town. So we'll pick up a few hint coins. And we'll have to talk to Percy anyways, so... Oh, hello! I'm Percy, St. Mystere's unofficial writer-in-residence. Reinhold Manor, you ask? Head up that road to the right. It's immense, so you'll know it when you see it. But before you go, why not try your hand at this puzzle I thought up? See if you can figure out which house is mine from the instructions I give you. I'll even sweeten the deal for you. If you manage to solve this puzzle, I'll tell you about this village. So how about it? You will try, won't you? After all, a writer is nothing without an audience. Can you find my house? Go out the front door of my place and turn left. At the first intersection you come across, take right. Turn right again at the following intersection and you'll come face to face with the morning sun. Circle my house. So really quickly, one of the things that you notice, is it can't be anything that's repeating. So it couldn't be this one, that one, or any of these. So it would have to be between the upper left and this middle house. And since we know the sun starts in the east, you can work backwards, which would give you a shape like this, which means that this house is the only one it could be.
That should do it. Critical thinking is the key to success.
That's right, this is a problem where working backward gets the job fastest. It's far too long to check each house individually. Impressive. I thought I'd set out quite the puzzle, but you made short work of it. Now for that gossip I promised you. The Reinhold family owns all of the land this village is built upon. I hear they own all the buildings too. I guess you could say this town sort of belongs to the Reinholds. Well, I'll be on my way now, but rest assured that next time we meet, I'll have a harder puzzle for you. We can also, if we tap on this clock tower, find our first hidden puzzle. That clock tower is rather worse for the wear. Speaking of clocks, I've got just the puzzle for you. Admittedly, it concerns a more modern type of clock, but never mind that minor detail. So this is also, I believe, a puzzle that's different in the UK version. Imagine a digital clock like the one shown below. How many times will the clock display 3 or more of the same number over the course of one day? In case you were wondering, the clock in this puzzle displays time on a 12-hour scale, not military time. So the easiest way to go about this is just to start writing out the numbers. So we have the obvious ones, up to 5. We can't do 666 because that's not an actual time. The next ones we could do are 10 o'clock, 11, 11, 11, 11, which goes, actually no, 11, 10, then through 11, 19, and then we can also get 12, 22. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. But that's only in a 12-hour period. So we need to multiply that by 2, because it's a 24 hours in a day, which gives us 34 as our answer. Nope, not 31. 4. Oh my gosh. Please recognize my 4. Thank you.
I think I've got it. Professor, I've solved it.
Very good. A series of 3 or more of the same digit appears 34 times over the course of 24 hours. It's easy enough to spot times like 111 or 222, but many people forget about combinations like 10 o'clock or 1112. Precisely the answer I was looking for, Luke. Well done, my boy. Professor, look at that man standing in the street. He's blocking the path up to Reinhold Manor. How terribly rude. Perhaps he'll move for us, but I have a feeling he has no intention of doing anything of the sort. So before we talk to him, there's a few more hint coins we can get. There's some, I think, on just about every screen. So they're always worth looking for. Hold up. Never seen you two here before. What's a couple of fresh faces like yourselves doing here? We're here by invitation of the Reinholds. Now, if you'll excuse us, we have business through the gate. Business with the Reinholds, is that so? Something strange here. Yeah, you're a fishy pair, I don't trust you, that's for sure, but I'll let you pass if you can solve this riddle, see? Just warn ya, it's a tough one. Isn't gonna be easy, is it? No way, definitely not gonna be easy. Here we have 8 small weights that all look the same. However, one of the weights in the group is slightly lighter than the rest. Using the scale 2 times, you can find out which of these weights is lighter than the rest. So which weight is the light one? So to do this, we need to start by putting 3 weights on each side of the scale. And then, so in this case, if they were both even, we would then weigh 7 and 8. But because that's off, I'll take 1 weight off. 4 and 5 are even now, which means 6 is the light weight out.
There we go.
And that puzzle is randomized every time, so you can't just memorize which weight. That's right. To solve this puzzle with no guesswork, you must load 3 weights on each side of the scale for your first measurement. If you manage to get that far, the rest is easy. Hey, not half bad. Pretty sharp bunch, aren't you? Pair of good, sharp apples, the 2 of you. So have we satisfied you? Maybe pass now? Of course you can pass. Move along, and you better make sure to give my regards to Lady Dahlia. Then let's see, we've got to talk to him. And just who might you be? My name is Layton, and this is my assistant. We received an invitation to visit Reinhold Manor. Ah, yes, we've all been expecting you, Professor Layton. But, you'll have to excuse my skepticism. Can't trust anyone these days, you know. For all I know, you could be just another hooligan in a top hat. So how do I know you're the real Layton? Did you hear that, Professor? The nerve of this fellow. Surely you aren't going to go through with this after an insult like that. Now, Luke, settle down. Sir, are you saying that you'd like to test me to see if I'm the real Professor Layton? Precisely, Professor Layton. Now, if you don't mind, would you please solve this puzzle for me? Get the 3 wolves and 3 chicks seen below to the other side of the river while obeying the following conditions. No more than 2 animals can ride the raft at the same time. There must be at least 1 animal on the raft in order for it to move. If more wolves than chicks stay on either side of the river, the wolves will eat the chicks, and you'll have to start over. You can move the raft as many times as you like, but this feat can be accomplished in as few as 11 moves. So let's see if I remember how to do it in 11 moves. Then No, yeah. And then I do this. And then I take both the chicks. And take the wolf. Here we go.
There we go. Another puzzle solved.
Well done. This puzzle can be solved in as few as 11 trips. How many trips did it take you? 11 actually. Fun fact time. There are several variations of this type of river crossing puzzle, and they have appeared in writings dating back to over 1,000 years ago. Ahoo-hoo! Excuse my earlier rudeness. Let me show you to the manor. Everyone's waiting for you. Everyone? I was under the impression that Lady Dahlia was the only person expecting me. Right this way, please. Well, before we do that, there's another puzzle to be solved here. Wow, look at those flowers. They sure are pretty. Indeed they are. I'm sure someone put a lot of work into raising them. Oh, that reminds me. Would you like to hear a puzzle about raising flowers? You bet, Professor. Let's hear it. Alfred and Roland have been hired by a farm to sow flower seeds. They've been assigned a 10-acre plot of land and split it in half so they can work independently. Roland starts from the east and Alfred starts from the west. Alfred can plow the land at a rate of 20 minutes per acre. Roland takes 40 minutes to plow, but sows seeds at 3 times the speed Alfred does. If sowing seeds on the 10-acre plot pays $100, how much of that money should go to Roland? And this seems like we're going to have to do a lot of math at first. But it's actually a bit of a trick question.
Well, here's my guess. Layton's apprentice saves the day.
The beginning of the problem says that the two men split the 10-acre plot of land in half so they could work independently. In other words, they both had the same amount of work assigned to them. Since each person did half the work, the pair should split $100 right down the middle, and each person gets $50. Correct. Good thinking, Luke. Is this the manor, Professor? It's positively gigantic. Just look at the size of it. Certainly seems like we've come to the right place. The Professor and Luke finally arrive at Reinhold Manor. Let's head in, shall we? Yes, sir. Well, first, as always, gonna pick up some hit coins. Welcome to the Reinhold Manor. Thank you for coming. I am Matthew, butler and servant to the Reinhold family. Everyone is waiting upstairs for you. But before you go, I have a message from Lady Dahlia. She has requested that you take a look at this puzzle. Please do not be taken aback. Madame has the strangest sense of propriety sometimes. So this is a matchstick puzzle, which the first time I found this one was a lot. The matches below are arranged in the shape of a dog. This poor little guy was just minding his business when a car came barreling down the road and ran him over. Move 2 matches to change the picture so that it shows the dog after the accident. All puzzles are a matter of perspective, so don't assume you'll be looking at the dog from the side by the time you're finished with this one. So yeah, we've got to move these 2 up here, and this took me forever to figure out as a kid.
Luke, here's my answer. Another puzzle solved.
The car flattened the poor dog. Let this be a lesson to be aware of your surroundings when driving. That's absolutely correct. My commendations, sir. Again, I do apologize for the strangeness of the request. Now please walk this way. We mustn't keep Lady Dahlia and company waiting. Well, they're gonna wait for a little bit. As I grab a few more coins. And then I'm gonna look at some portraits. And there's a puzzle as well. Professor, look at these paintings on the wall here. It's a very nice portrait, isn't it? I bet that's the late Baron Reinhold pictured there. But what about this one, Professor? Who could this pretty girl be? The two portraits are next to each other, so they're likely family. She's probably the Baron's daughter. That's exactly right, sir. You are looking at a portrait of Flora, the late Baron's daughter. Pardon me for asking, but I couldn't help but notice your keen interest in art. Would you care to take this old frame with you? It used to hold the most wonderful painting. However, now all that's left of it is this small scrap. So this is one of the 3 mini games that we will get to do to unlock more puzzles in the post game. So this is a piece of that old painting then. How interesting. There we go. Bookshelves seem to line every wall of this estate. The Baron must have been quite the avid reader. It's important to keep your mind sharp, Luke, so why don't you give this puzzle a go? Alright, here's a quick and easy one. The first letter of the alphabet is A, and the letter B comes after the letter A. However, the letter you need to worry about is the last one. What's the last letter of the alphabet? This is pretty easy one. Oh my gosh. Here we go. Pretty common schoolyard sort of riddle.
I think I've got it. Layton's apprentice saves the day.
Good job. The last letter in the word alphabet is the letter T. How did you like the puzzle, Luke? I hope it has prepared you for tackling more difficult puzzles. Not really, but sure.
Oh? Oh, you must be Professor Layton, I presume. It's an honor to make your acquaintance.
Oh no, the pleasure's all mine.
Oh, no!
Luke,
Claudia, darling! Come back, sweetie!
Honestly, why am I constantly surrounded by incompetence? This is a disaster. Whatever is the matter? Oh, this is simply terrible. My dear sweet baby, my Claudia. Your Claudia? Sweet, sweet Claudia, my little honeykins, my smoochy pie, my baby. Matthew, Matthew. Claudia and Lady Dahlia can wait just a moment. The name's Simon. I'm Baron Reinhold's nephew. My father is the little brother of Gordon there. Or rather, he was until he kicked the bucket, as they say. But I digress. So you're the famous Professor Layton. I thought you'd have more presents. Well, never mind that. I take it you won't mind if I throw a puzzle your way. It shouldn't prove difficult for a man of your ability. Yes, if you're as good as they say, this shouldn't amount to much more than a distraction. As shown in the diagram below, you have 1/4 of a circle. Within the circle is rectangle ABCD, which touches the edge of the circle at point D. Assuming that point B is located at the center of the circle, how long is diagonal line AC? So basically, we need to figure out how long that line is. And we know actually how long this line is because it is the radius of the circle, which would be 5 plus 5 is 10. which means that line AC also has to be 10.
That should do it. Critical thinking is the key to success.
Righto, diagonal line AC is the same length as diagonal line BD. BD is the same as the radius of the circle, so once you figured that out, the only thing left to do is add 5 and 5. Oh, it appears that you're the real deal, Professor. I apologize for doubting you there. Seems you've quite the mind for puzzles. A lesser man than myself might consider jealousy to be a reasonable response. Anyhow, you're not going to get a word out of Dahlia right now, so you might as well do as she says. I'll find that out in a minute. Or I must do another puzzle. Look, there's a puzzle hidden here, Professor. This is another matchstick puzzle. On the table below are 4 cubes made up of matches. Can you change 4 cubes to 3 by moving a single match? It is as easy as that.
How does this sound? Professor, I've solved it!
Brilliant. Moving a single matchstick completely changes your perspective on the shape. Was it difficult thinking about things in 3D? Piece of cake. Now let's go find more puzzles. Well, let's find out what Lady Dahlia wants from us. Madame, what is it? What in the world happened? My little Claudia got scared and ran off. Didn't you see her dart out of the room? I must have missed her. I'm terribly sorry, Madame. Madam, I guess. Yeah. Oh, you're just useless, aren't you? Professor, you didn't see which way my baby ran off to, did you? Your baby, madam? If you were referring to that white cat, I saw it run out that door a moment ago. What? And you simply stood there and let her escape? Well, she is a cat. They are animals, after all, and animals must run about from time to... You fool. She is not just a cat. She has a name, and that name is Claudia Reinhold. She is a delicate flower, and she is simply a mess when I'm not close by to comfort her. Matthew, I need you to find Claudia and bring her back immediately. About this little inheritance problem of yours, Lady Dahlia. That can wait. Can't you see that we have more pressing concern on our hands at the moment? You could have stopped her, and you didn't. So you have a responsibility to find Claudia and bring her back. Sending the professor off to find a silly cat. The nerve. Who do you think you are? Oh, it's fine, Luke. Besides, Lady Dahlia does have a point. It does seem we let Claudia run off. Madam, if you'll excuse us, we have a cat to track down. Thank you, and please hurry. My Claudia is such a delicate flower. Even the coarse outdoor air might prove too much for her. So we have begun Chapter 2, The Fugitive Feline. Lady Dahlia's cat has escaped. Search St. Mystere for the runaway feline. Huh? Having these little new things bother me, so I'm just going to quickly say that we have looked at our mysteries in our journal. I'm terribly sorry, Professor. I will personally search the manor and the estate grounds. I feel dreadful asking, but would you mind taking a quick look about the town to see if Claudia is there? Don't give it a second thought, my good man. We're on the chase. Oh, there's Claudia right there. Professor, there she is. Drat, she ran off. Well, we can't stop now. Let's give chase, Luke. Blast that burns. Looks like the engine blew out. So this is Saint Mystere, eh? The famed stomping ground of the late Baron Augustus Reinhold. I wonder what kind of tricks the old coot set up in this village before he shuffled off. Oh, Layton, you ridiculous dandy, just you wait. All the treasure you seek will be mine. Yeah. Oh, it's you, Mr. Please call me Ramona. Can I be of some assistance? As a matter of fact, yes, Ramon. Lady Dahlia's cat slipped out of the house. Have you seen her about? Do you mean dear Claudia? I think I saw her pass through here and run into town a few moments ago. If that's the case, I sure wish he'd bothered to catch her before she ran away. Well, she can wait. We have a puzzle to solve. Huh? Look, there's a hole in that boat there. Oh, Professor, that reminds me. Have you ever heard the one about the sinking ship? SOS. 15 people are trapped aboard a ship that's going to sink in exactly 20 minutes. Their only chance for survival is the 5-person life raft stowed on their vessel. To make matters worse, the waters around the ship are teeming with man-eating sharks, so swimming to safety is out of the question. A round trip to the nearest island and back to the boat takes 9 minutes on the raft. How many people will live to see dry land? So, we can make 2 round trips. At 9 minutes. So the first trip, we're gonna have 5 people off the boat, but 1 person has to come back for the first 9 minutes. And then second, again, we can have this will be 4 new people. And then he makes it back to the boat and he can pick up 4 more before the boat sinks. So 5, 4, and 4 is 13 total.
That should do it. Every puzzle has an answer.
Nicely done. A moment of silence for the 2 who didn't make it, please. Wow, great answer, Professor. It took me 5 times as long to get that one. You need something? You do, don't you? Yep, I can see it on your face. An open book is what you are. Excuse me, but you didn't happen to see Lady Dahlia's cat come through here a moment ago, did you? Ah, the fluffy white killer, yeah? I think she ran toward the town square. Yep, she went that way. I see, thank you. Think nothing of it, buddy. If only all questions were that easy to answer. Well then, I'll be off now. Who would have thought he'd turn out to be such a nice guy? Shall we head for the town square then? Indeed, let's be off. Hold on. Let's take a look at what's behind the blue door. Do you see it? That blue door over there appears to be open a crack. Care to take a look inside? Basically, it's just a we can enter certain buildings tutorial, I guess. There's something I find very charming about this chair. Oh, that reminds me, Luke. Have you heard this one before? A new multi-purpose event hall has been built in the center of your town. It will be used for everything from concerts to sporting events to conventions. With the hall complete, it's time to order the chairs. 5 chair designs labeled A through E are being considered, but of all the designs, only 1 chair is completely suitable for the auditorium. Which chair is it?
I think I've got it. I did it! Yes!
That's right. Of all the designs, only E can be stacked upon itself. In a hall like the one described, each event requires a different number of seats, and thus a change in seating arrangement. The storability of E makes it the best chair for the job. Well done. I suppose this puzzle was too easy for you, my boy. So there's one more puzzle in here if we touch the candle. Look here, my boy. This extinguished candle has reminded me of a simply wonderful puzzle. Ten candles stand burning in a dining room. A strong breeze blows in through an open window and extinguishes 2 of them. Checking back in on the candles later, you see that 1 more candle has gone out. To make sure that no more flames go out, you shut the window. Assuming the wind doesn't extinguish any more candles, how many candles do you have left in the end? Well, at the end of the day, once everything else has burned out, we will have the 3 that got blown out.
I think I've got it. I did it! Yes!
That's correct. The 7 candles that manage to stay lit will melt down completely. The only candles that remain in the end are the 3 that are extinguished by the wind and therefore stay intact. Excellent work, my boy. Sometimes it's important to consider the obvious too. Delving too deep into the implied can cause misconceptions. So, lots of trick puzzles in this game basically is what it's saying. Hey, you two, help me out here, would you? I'm in a real pickle. What seems to be the problem, sir? Some knucklehead went and raised the bridge when I was on break. Then, as if that wasn't bad enough, that chowderhead made off with my only bridge crank. Oh dear, so you mean to say... You got it, buddy. Until that thing shows up, no one's getting in or out of town. I'm still looking for the blasted crank, but I'm seeing too much red to get anything done. What kind of punk pulls a prank like this anyhow? Oh yeah, I found this doodad in the street when I was out looking for my crank. Got any idea what it is? Strange gizmo. So now we have the gizmos. I use the word minigame loosely, but it counts as one in this game, so... Anyway, we have a new mystery, which I'm just gonna... We do that too. And we found Claudia. Aha! Fluffy? Check. Purple bow? Check. Sullen expression? Check. No doubt about it, that's Claudia. Good eye, Luke. Now that we've located her, the question at hand is how to go about catching her. Leave this one to me, Professor. Ah yes, I'd forgotten that you have a way with animals. Well, go right ahead then. Here, Claudia. Here, girl. Meow. Luke, are you alright? I'm sorry I wasn't much help, Professor. She's far feistier than I imagined. Yeah, I saw that cat. She almost scratched out your eye. Help catch her, you say? Thanks, but no thanks. I like living. Did you see that ferocious beast? I'm not going anywhere near her. Could you at least tell us in which direction she ran off? I saw that killer scurry off westward. She had fangs the size of daggers. Sure. Professor, have you noticed that this door is a different color than all the others in the area? And look at these vines. Have you seen vines growing on any other house in St. Mystere? The nameplate on the door says House of Puzzles. Indeed. I'm not quite sure what else lies behind the door, but it's clear there are puzzles hiding inside. Sadly, the door is shut tight, and there's no sense in waiting around for it to open. Let's return later. That House of Puzzles will be kind of important, not really for my playthrough, but it is helpful. This is the town hall, What business do you have here? If you just moved to town, I strongly advise that you fill out a change of address form. Oh no, we aren't here for anything like that. Regardless, all town hall visitors must complete the proper forms. You can start with this one. Here are two shapes, one large and one small. Each is made up of little triangles. Dipping your fountain pen into the ink one time gives you just enough ink to draw 4 little triangles as depicted by the shape on the left. So with that in mind, how many times do you have to dip your pen in the ink in order to draw the shape on the right that's made of 36 triangles? So this is a bit of a trick one, because if you look, this middle triangle is sort of just made up of the shape of these 3 triangles. So if we take out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 15. Okay, so if we take out 15 triangles, that leaves us with 21. And then we divide that by 3, because there's like the 3 triangles there. That gives us 7, which means that we have to dip our pen 7 times.
There we go. Critical thinking is the key to success.
That's correct. Your first impulse might have been to divide the 36 triangles by 4, but a closer look shows that each 4-triangle cluster is actually formed from 3 triangles. When you apply this way of thinking to the larger shape, you end up with the answer pictured above. Nicely done. As you might have noticed, everyone in this town is simply crazy about puzzles. I strongly advise that you solve as many puzzles as you can, and while I'm at it, I strongly advise that you drop in on Granny Riddleton next door. She is a veritable treasure trove of puzzle-rated informalia. Just beware that she's not always home. Well, we tried to drop in on her earlier, which didn't work, but there's a hidden puzzle here. A jokerless deck of 52 cards sits on the table. The cards are shuffled thoroughly and divided into 2 stacks of 26 cards labeled A and B. If you divide the cards as described above and check the contents of each pile 1,000 times, how many times could you expect the number of red cards in one pile to match the number of black cards in the other? The game sort of explains this a lot better than I could, so I am just going to put in the answer and then read its explanation.
Well, here's my guess. Layton's apprentice saves the day.
You can expect a corresponding number of red and black cards to show up between the piles 1,000 times out of 1,000 tries. There are 26 cards of each color in a 52-card deck. If you form 2 piles of 26 randomly selected cards from this deck, the number of red cards in pile A is equal to 26 cards minus the number of black cards in pile A. In pile B, the situation is reversed. No matter how the cards are divided, the number of red cards in pile A will be equal to the number of black cards in pile B, and vice versa. Woo, that was a real mind twister. Oh, I almost forgot. We ought to visit the local inn and see if we can't procure some rooms for the night. Sounds good to me, Professor. I was certain I saw an inn near the entrance to the village, just south of the plaza we're in. Let's head over right now and see if we can't set up some lodging. And he's back. Good old Statch and Scarfin. Hehehe. So how go things? Learning the ins and outs of St. Mystere, are you? Yep. Solving puzzles is the only way to get by here. That's what the villagers value most. So how about a puzzle right now? A little practice to keep you from embarrassing yourselves in front of others later. As a die-hard nonconformist myself, I'm a sucker for any puzzle where you need to find the odd man out. Three of the 4 images shown below are the exact same picture rotated in a variety of ways. Can you find the odd one out? So this one, if you look at how these middle 3 cards are aligned, you see that this top club is always on top of the spade, is always on top of the club. But if we look here on D, it's actually going the reverse way.
I've solved it!
This puzzle is fairly straightforward, but catching the subtle difference in the picture can take a while. That's true. Hehehe. You certainly showed that puzzle who was boss, didn't you? Seems the training I've been giving you has paid off. Feel free to thank me in any way you see fit. We'll be seeing you around. You didn't really give me any training, Stash, but that's fine. Oh, hello there. Welcome to the inn at St. Mystere. We're the only inn in town, you know. See, visitors to our little village are quite rare. Good day, madam. We seek lodging for the night. Do you have any open rooms we could rent? Oh, my stars, what terrible timing. We're currently remodeling all of our guest rooms. The only rooms left are in the attic, but if you don't mind that, I'll make sure you're very comfortable. I do hope you stay with us. It's been a while since a fine gentleman as yourself stayed with us. The rooms are not very big, but I'll make sure they sparkle. Can you come back in a bit? Oh, and I'll do my best to get 2 normal rooms ready for you as soon as possible. Oh, thank you, but you needn't trouble yourself on my behalf. As long as I have a bed to sleep in, I'm satisfied. Ah, yes, about that. Oh, what terrible luck. You see, all the beds are out being refinished. But don't worry, Mama Beatrice is gonna take good care of you two. I'll even drop the nightly rate. So now we have the inn minigame. Here's something to make the place feel a bit more like home. Where sometimes puzzles will give us an item, and we'll choose which room to put it in. Hello there, gentlemen. I've got a doozy of a puzzle on my hands here. Why don't you give it a go? As you can see, what we've got here is some trash and a dustpan made of matchsticks. Can you move 2 matchsticks, change the picture so the dustpan is holding the trash. Slide this to the left, and bring this one down.
That should do it. Critical thinking is the key to success.
That's correct. Do your part to keep St. Mystere clean. Oh yes, just as I suspected. First time I laid eyes on you, I knew you were a man who knows puzzles. And the hand-woven rug will go to Layton. There's one more puzzle in here. Look, a hidden puzzle. A work from a famous artist was recently discovered. The painting is a self-portrait of the painter in his later years and is entitled My Beloved. Assuming the artist wasn't a huge narcissist and referring to himself, his beloved should appear in the picture somewhere. Can you find his beloved? Yes. Just do that. The black forms a silhouette of a woman.
I think I've got it! Layton's apprentice saves the day!
Silhouette of the artist's true love was hidden in his painting. The painting must have been a tribute to his love for her, or for himself. Easy peasy. Now let's go find some more puzzles. We'd better get back to searching for Claudia, Professor. Well, before I do that, I'm actually gonna head to this drawbridge. Grab a few more coins. And our first slide puzzle. I love slide puzzles. I know a lot of people in the Layton community do not, but I totally missed reading that dialogue. Whoops. The Layton mobile, the professor's pride and joy, is stuck behind several other cars trying to exit a crowded parking lot. Things are so tight, though, that each car can only move forward and backward with respect to the direction it's currently facing. Use your stylus to direct traffic and guide the professor's red car to the exit. actually... Yeah, just like that. Probably could have done a few less moves, but...
I did it! Yes!
14 moves. I wasn't actually paying attention. Well, that takes care of the puzzle, but I do wonder when I'll be able to get back to my automobile. Not for a little bit, Layton. Oh, I have just had it this time. I think I'm gonna explode, like a water balloon filled with rage. What's that? Why am I angry, you ask? Why am I angry? Lend me an ear, will you? There's these 3 bozos in town, and we just can't stand each other. It's so bad that none of us want to see each other's ugly mugs, but St. Mystere ain't a big place, right? Sometimes we cross paths on the way to work, and just like that, bam! Time for a screaming match. I sure do wish we could find a way to stop from bumping into each other in the mornings. Hang on now, you look like you've got a good head on your shoulders. Do a guy a favor and help me with this. Draw a path between one man's home and his work by connecting matching blocks. The catch is these men can't stand each other, so you have to make sure none of the paths touch. This is like... I forget what, game series it was. Like Flow, maybe? Anyway.
There we go. Every puzzle has an answer.
That's right. Now these guys don't even have to look at each other. Good job. Aw, thanks a million, guy. I can finally get to work without blowing my stack. I really mean it, Pally. You're a lot smarter than you look. Oh yeah, let me clue you in. See that big old mess of a tower beyond the town square? Take a tip from me. If you know what's good for you, you'll stay away from that thing. Well, right then, I'm off. Thanks again, buddy. Well, he's not really off, and he's still angry. So, I'll talk to him again. Oh, this time I'm just livid. It's just too much to take. The needle on my rack meter is completely buried. Why am I so worked up, you ask? It's this blasted puzzle. I've been trying to work it out since yesterday. I just can't get it, and it has me so steamed, I just can't sleep. You stupid jerk of a puzzle. Come here and take a look, will ya? A man has been prescribed 10 pills. Starting today, he must take 1 pill a day, but because the concentration of the medicine is different in each pill, he must take them in a specific order. Since the pills all look the same, the man has decided to write the numbers on each pill to help him remember the order he needs to take them in. How many pills does he have to number if he wants to keep track of the order? So, basically, if he gets home and he takes that one, and then he labels 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then he doesn't have to label 10. So he only has to label, actually wait, not 9 pills because he started on 2. He has to label 8 pills. Almost made a silly mistake right there.
There we go. Every puzzle has an answer.
Since the man has to start taking his medicine today, the first thing he should do is take today's pill. Next, he should label the pills for days 2 through 9. If he does this, he shouldn't have to label the pill for the last day. It will be the only one without a label. What were you thinking, man? And here I was ready to solve it all by myself. Why'd you have to go and ruin everything? The nerve! But with that puzzle solved, I can finally sleep again, so I guess I owe you guys one. Thanks. I know you both have your work cut out for you, so good luck, yeah? I'm sorry to trouble you, madam, but have you seen a white cat run this way? White cat? Ah, yes, it ran over that way toward the park. And may I ask, what are you planning on doing with it once you find it? We are going to take it back to Lady Dahlia. It's her cat, and she's asked us to bring it back to her. And you're gonna try and catch that cat barehanded? Oh, good heavens. That's a bit naive, don't you think? Listen here, cats love treats, so try luring it over with some food. What do you suggest? I've got some old fish bones around here that I'm sure the little thing would go wild over. I'd be happy to give them to you if you solve this puzzle for me. Seven prize-winning pigs are lazing about in a pen. To make sure the pigs don't fight with each other, you've decided to section off the pen with 3 ropes. Can you hitch the ropes up to some of the posts below and separate each pig from its neighbor? Remember, not even a snout or curly tail can sneak over each partition. The biggest thing with this one is just separating the pig in the middle.
That should do it. Every puzzle has an answer.
Good job. You made a lot of pigs very happy. I must say I'm very impressed. Here you go then, some fish bones as I promised. Good luck with that cat. Before I do that, there's a puzzle here. Oh look, Professor, I found a hidden puzzle. One of the 4 shapes below has one less match than the rest of them. While studying the 4 shapes, your friend approaches with the riddle. I'm thinking of something that is necessary for human life. It appears in just about every house you've ever visited and decreases in amount gradually the longer it is around. What am I thinking of? Move 1 match in the picture to form your answer to your friend's riddle. Answer is food.
Well, here's my guess. Layton's apprentice saves the day.
Make sure you visit the grocery store before you run out of snacks. I wish all puzzles were this easy. Me too, Luke. That guy gets so worked up that he turns red like a tomato. He looks so dumb. Hey, this is your first time here, isn't it? Well, if you're looking for a warm meal and a hot cup of tea, you've come to the right place. Strange it should be so empty if the food's as good as you say. Hey now, boy, no need to be snippy. That's just how the restaurant business is. There are times when the place is packed and times when things are quiet. If it was always lunch rush, how would I ever prepare food for the rest of the day? Oh, and speaking of preparation, I got myself a little problem on my hands. See, I've got to divide this 8-quart pitcher of juice into 2 equal portions. However, for the life of me, I can't seem to find my measuring cup. I wonder if there's some way I could do it using these 5 3/4 pitchers I found. Here we have an 8-quart pitcher filled with juice, an empty 5-quart pitcher, and an empty 3-quart pitcher. The pitchers are unmarked, and your task is to divide the 8 quarts of juice so that both the 5-quart and 8-quart pitcher are holding exactly 4 quarts. So I'm trying to remember how to do this. I'm going to start like this. And then, oh, alright, do that, we do this, and then I pour that into there.
There we go. Critical thinking is the key to success.
Well done. If you keep at it long enough, you're sure to come across the solution. The shortest possible solution requires 7 moods. These liquid distribution problems have been around for ages and have even been spotted in Japanese texts from hundreds of years ago. So that's how it's done. Great thinking. Thanks a lot. If I ever have troubles like this again, would you mind if I call on you for help? So I hear you two are into puzzles. I can tell. It's obvious from the way you're ogling these coins. You smell it, can't you? Well, you're right. There's a puzzle in these coins. Have a look. In the drawing below, 10 coins are arranged to form an equilateral triangle. The triangle is pointing up right now, but can you get it to point down by moving 3 of the coins? Just shift those 3 to the right.
There we go. Critical thinking is the key to success.
The interesting thing about this puzzle is the way the whole triangle changes shape with the simple shifting of a few coins. The trick is to think about the corners on the first triangle. Then it's easy to see the changes you need to make. Yep, just as I thought, you guys are a bunch of puzzle nuts. St. Mystere's full of puzzle lovers like you two, but not all of them are nice like me. Watch your back. And before we catch Claudia, there is a puzzle in this space. That filthy jar reminds me of a puzzle I once heard. A glass jar holds a single germ. After 1 minute, the germ splits into 2 germs. 1 minute after that, the 2 germs split again, forming a total of 4 germs. Continuing at this rate, a single germ can multiply to fill the whole jar in exactly 1 hour. Knowing this, how long in minutes would it take to fill the jar if you had started with 2 germs? This is another sort of trick question.
I think I've got it. Layton's apprentice saves the day.
The answer is 59 minutes. It takes 1 minute for a single germ to split into 2. Therefore, starting with 2 germs instead of 1 only saves you 1 minute. You're spot on. Excellent job. This jar is actually kind of neat. Why don't we take it with us? But, my boy, it's covered in grime. What's this? Something sitting inside the jar. I think you're right. Luke, reach a hand in and see what's inside, will you? And it is a painting scrap. Alright, time to pick up Claudia. Professor, there she is. Quickly then use the fish bones. Here, Claudia, come here, girl. Meow. Meow. We've done it, Professor. Here she comes. Excellent. Now we can head back to Reinhold Manor. Meow. And with that, we have completed Chapter 2. Having successfully caught Claudia, Professor Layton and Luke decide to head back to Reinhold Manor. And then it's just going to tell us about Riddleton's house. Something doesn't seem quite right, Professor. Professor, oh, simply awful. Come quickly, please. What's the matter, Matthew? If you're worried about the cat, we've brought her back safe and sound. Oh, well, Madam will be very happy to hear that. But this is no time to worry about a cat. Just hurry upstairs, right this way, please. So you're the famous Professor Layton, then. The name's Chelmy. Inspector Chelmy. I'm the inspector on this case. Well, I'd hardly call it a case. If this is about Claudia, we've brought her back safe and sound. Oh, Claudia, my baby. Mama missed you so much. Meow. What's this cat doing here? Why on earth would she bring an animal into a crime scene? Have some sense. We were out when this crime took place and don't know what's going on. Could you please fill us in? There's been a murder, Professor. A man was killed here. What? Who was murdered? The victim was a resident of this address, one Simon Reinhold. Simon was... Approximately 2 hours ago, I received a report that a man had collapsed at Reinhold Manor. Upon arrival at the scene, it was apparent to me that Simon was already dead. I see. And the cause of death? I'm currently conducting an investigation to look into it. I'll let you know right now, Mr. Layton, I'm looking at you as a potential suspect as well. The rest of the details concerning this investigation are classified. Speaking of the details, who placed the call to the authorities? Are your ears clogged? You deaf? Didn't I just tell you those details are classified, Alright everyone, I'll be taking statements from each of you in the other room. Come in one by one. And let me make this clear. Under no circumstances is anyone to leave until I've talked to everyone. Imagine a murder in this very house. It brings a chill to my spine, it does. You're a detective, are you not? Do hurry and find the monster that did this. My good sir, I am no detective, but I agree that your concerns are certainly warranted. No one is safe until that criminal is behind bars. My sentiments exactly. I just don't understand it. Simon could be snide, but he wasn't the type to be hated. If the criminal was after my brother's fortune, I could very well be this fiend's next target. You have a point. If we narrow the motive to stealing the Reinhold fortune, there are a few potential suspects. Good gracious, you don't think I'd do something like this now? Simon and I got along very well, I'll have you know. He wasn't very close with Augustus, though. You know, all this talk of families has me contemplating a puzzle I once heard. Six brothers have gathered around a table to eat dinner. Each of the brothers is prone to fighting with the siblings directly above and below him in age and can't be seated next to either of them. Also, brothers 3 and 5 got into an argument the other day and refused to sit next to each other. The eldest brother has already sat down at the big table and is waiting for the others to start eating. Can you find a seating arrangement that will keep everyone from fighting with each other? So if we start by placing 3 and 5 there, 4 has to go there, and we'll place not 2 there. That.
I think I've got it.
No. What did I do
so
wrong?
Embarrassed.
What did I put wrong? Did I think I know. Yep. I am ashamed.
I think I've got it. Layton's apprentice saves the day.
My score is not perfect anymore. Set the boys as shown and there shouldn't be any trouble. The mirror image of the seating is also a valid answer. Finally, a meal in peace. Oh yes, so that's the answer. Thank you for clearing up that puzzle, but we're still no closer to finding Simon's killer. I assure you I had nothing to do with it, so please go out and find the real murderer. Of course. I understand your position. It appears I am a suspect too. I'll find out what I can. Matthew, did you notice any strange characters around the manor at the time of the incident? Not a soul, I'm afraid. I didn't even know about Master Simon until Inspector Chelmy showed up. And where is Simon's body now? I didn't see this, but I was told that the inspector carried the body out shortly after arriving. I see. Well, it looks like for the moment we are without a lead on this case. Ah, but you know, I found this in the room where Master Simon's body was discovered. What is this? I'm sorry to say I have no idea, but I thought it might be a clue, so I made sure to hold on to it. Amazing. It's a cog so small that one could search the room and miss it. Look, it has an engraving. A small cog. Now that you mention it, I know a puzzle about an object that almost fits that description. What? Are you joking? A puzzle? At a time like this? You are holding an 8-pointed shape with a red dot on it. If you hold the shape so the red dot is in the position of diagram A, and then flip it over, you'll see the black dot as depicted below. Now assume you are holding the shape as shown on the left side of diagram B. Where will the black dot be when you flip the shape over? This one stumped me so bad for like a long time. To the point that I had to like make this little shape in real paper and draw it out.
That should do it. Another puzzle solved.
So yes, this, the diagram up top explains it. My apologies, but I'm afraid I don't know anything that would aid your investigation. Not at all. This small gear is more than enough for us to go on. But I do wonder why you're giving this to us. I believe you're a good man, Professor. I'm confident you will put the whole of this puzzle together. I appreciate the vote of confidence, Matthew. Is this everyone who was present at the site of the crime? I believe we are missing Ramon, sir. Ramon? Where is he and what on earth is he doing? Matthew, fetch Ramon at once. To be honest, madame, thinking on it, I've not seen Ramon for a few hours now. What? Don't tell me he was taken as well. No, hold on a moment, he's suspect too. Perhaps he fled the scene of his crime. Where could he be at a time like this? What if the murderer got Ramon too? Hey, where did Lady Dahlia go? I believe Madame has retired to the adjoining room to relax on her own. She's a strong woman, but it's only natural she'd need to rest after a terrible event like this. Very well then, would you please let her know that I have something I'd like to talk to her about? But of course, Professor, please wait here. Lady Dahlia might act like an ice queen, but I guess even she was shaken by today's events. Luke, if you wish to ever become a gentleman, you'll need to start showing a little more sensitivity. Oh, of course, Professor. I apologize. That was wrong of me. Madame will see you now. Just head back through that doorway on the left. Lady Dahlia, I have a deep suspicion this murder is connected to the mystery of the golden apple. What? It's too early to say for sure, but I think it's highly probable the two matters are linked. And you think that Ramon is somehow involved in all this? Potentially, yes. However, as of yet, we don't have enough information to draw any solid conclusions. I see. If that's the case, I have a request for you, Professor. Find Ramon and bring him back here to me. It sickens me that I am being considered a suspect in this brutal crime. I must prove my innocence at once. As you wish, Lady Dahlia. We will ask around town to see what we can find. I appreciate your help, Professor. Well then, I'll be awaiting the good news in the parlor. We have reached Chapter 3, The Missing Servant. Comb St. Mystere for clues about Ramon's disappearance. And I have to call it here, because my voice is so sore after talking for an hour and a half straight. We will be back next time with more Curious Village.